he was like a Ram, an old school Ram, a pre-St. Louis Ram.
Right. He was an old school Ram, but he won the championship in St. Louis,
right.
1999,
with DeMarco. Right. So he's one of those guys that started in L.A., played in Angel Stadium,
right,
moved to St. Louis,
correct,
and then his career, went on for all those years in St. Louis, played on some great teams.
Yeah.
Finished his playing career. But the Rams are back, and this is where his Rams career started. I always like talking to guys from that era, like yesterday.
And I hope he has some good DeMarco stories. I feel like that would be helpful for us since he works on the station a lot. Yeah.
I mean, having DeMarco, like Jim Everett yesterday, these kind of old school pre-St. Louis Rams, I like that stuff.
Yeah. And here is the great Todd Light right now.
Todd Light. What's up, man? How you doing, man?
Yeah.
Nice to see you. Thank you. You too. If I smell like pina
George,
colada.
How are you? Nice to see you. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Sorry, man. I just sunscreened, and it smells like pina colada.
Yeah.
So if I smell really delicious.
I mean, it could be worse, I would say. Pina colada is actually a nice smell, to be honest with you.
I just realized, though, how much I smell it is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? I just realized it. They're telling you about the roster.
The roster sheet.
Yeah. Alphabetical, numerical.
Yeah.
Okay? You got that?
So before we get into anything,
Todd,
Todd,
move this up for you. There you go.
We need to ask you a question.
Yes.
Tell me you have a good, embarrassing DeMarco Farr story.
You know what? I don't. I really don't. DeMarco was one of those guys, when we were in the league, he was very low-key, very professional, never really got out and, really ran the streets with us, you know what I mean, in our wild days. So
why?
I don't have any good DeMarco stories.
You want to know why that is?
Why is that?
Because in high school, he was the vice president of the Dungeons and Dragons Club.
He was.
That is a true story. I swear to God. I am not making that up.
Right. So he was a nerd in high school, and he was a nerd when he became a professional athlete.
That's right.
He stuck to his game, basically.
That's right. He's true to himself.
Right. Todd, I was just telling George that I love to hear the stories of guys who were Rams in L.A., played in Angel Stadium, and then moved to St. Louis.
Right.
Like, just go back to the early 90s when you first came from Notre Dame to the Rams and what that was like back then.
I did. I have two really good stories. So, like, the very first time, I'm holding out, right? And so, like, in 91 is really, like, the first time first-round draft picks made $1 million in the NFL. So I'm holding out, for my number. It's still slotted, but, I'm holding out for the bigger number, whatever. And we're having camp here. Coach Robinson's the coach. The team is practicing right here on this field. And literally, I'm in those trees back there, hiding, watching the team practice with binoculars. And I remember Coach Robinson kind of looked over there and was like, what's that guy doing over there? They had no idea it was me.
You thought you were spying on him.
They thought I was spying on him. They sent security over there. Security rounded me up, and they ended up coming out talking to Coach. And so that was one of my first stories coming out because I was trying to see, I wanted to see what the competition looked like. I want to see what the DBs looked like. I want to see what the wide receivers were doing. I want to see what they were doing in practice because I was ready to sign. I was only a couple days away, and I couldn't wait to get out there. Another great story I have is the first time I went in the locker room. So, Todd Hewitt, the great longtime, manager for the team, I go into the locker room. I'm the only one there. So I walk. I'm trying to figure out everything. I'm trying to find the office spaces. I'm looking around. I go to my locker. There's a 29 jersey hanging in my locker. And I'm thinking to myself, why the heck is Eric Dickerson's jersey in this locker?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I pick it up, and I think they're playing a prank on me. I'm looking around for cameras or anything. I couldn't find any secret cameras. So I end up walking back to Todd's office. I'm like, Todd, what's going on? Eric Dickerson's jersey's in my locker. He's like, no, you're the new number 29. And I was like, oh, no, I'm not. Oh, no, I'm not. So I turned that thing in, and obviously I wore one at the University of Notre Dame. 21 and 31 were taken. Right. 41 was available, and so that's how I ended up with 41 because I didn't want to take 29.
Yeah, I don't blame you for not taking 29. Good Lord.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. In that time, as you look at the way the league has evolved, obviously the finances have changed dramatically, but just the game itself, how do you view the game now as opposed to when you were playing, which really wasn't that long ago?
Right. You know what? For me, obviously there was a lot more two-back sets and, the pro personnel where it was like, 21, two backs, one tight end, two wide receivers, and there was a lot more of a run game, more downhill, a lot more physical in the box game. Now, with these superior athletes, they're spreading it out all over the field and, they're finding the matchups. I really, really enjoy the new game, how they made it a lot more wide open and more fun for the fans because, when you have dynamic athletes all over the field, there's more explosive plays, and more explosive plays create for better highlights and create for better entertainment for the fans. And so I really, really enjoy it, especially when you're watching a team, that I played on, The Greatest Show on Turf, where you have guys like Isaac Bruce, Isaac Keem, Torrey Holt, Orlando Pace, Marshall Faulk. Yeah, the whole gambit of guys where, you would line up in an empty set, and it's like, pick your poison. Because out of those five matchups, for for sure every time. And so, and I think that really started a trend in terms of, opening it up and really putting the ball downfield and, attacking the field vertically like Mike Martz used to do. And, I think that is really where the game is headed to. And it's so much more fun for the fans. And I love it. I really do. And it really exposes the defenders, because now with the way they call pass interference, you really have to be fundamentally and technically sound to really win on the perimeter as a defender.
So Todd Light had a great career, right? I mean, first of all,
you're a star at Notre Dame.
You're a star at Notre Dame. You're a first-round draft choice.
Fifth pick in the draft, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's just unbelievable.
Yeah, no, it was great. It was good.
Right? I mean, who were the 4 guys ahead of you?
Do you remember?
I do.
Wait, what year? What year is this?
It was 1991.
Okay, 91.
So the first pick was Russell Maryland out of Miami.
Okay.
Went to Dallas.
The second pick was Eric Turner, the safety from UCLA.
Right.
He went to Cleveland.
Right.
Third pick was Bruce Pickens, corner out of Nebraska.
Okay, wouldn't have gotten that.
Yeah, and he didn't last in the league very long, playing opposite of Deion Sanders. That was a tough deal.
Atlanta.
4 was Mike Kroll, the linebacker out of Nebraska, who went to Denver.
Right.
And then I was the 5th pick.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you had a great career. I just saw the other night. I was in a hotel, and I turned on like ESPN or one of these ESPN channels, and they had on the documentary. You must have seen this. Catholics versus criminals.
Yes.
Was that
Convicts?
Catholics versus convicts. Yes.
Right. Catholics versus convicts. Right.
What'd you think?
I didn't love it because I was on the convict side growing up. Okay, I was a Miami guy growing up.
No doubt.
We got to talk about that Cleveland Gary fumble in the end zone after we're done here.
Absolutely.
So I love that documentary, but what I loved about it, I was playing college ball at the same time.
Right.
You went to Pitt.
Yep.
Okay.
And they talk about this game, and it was a big game.
Yeah.
Because the year before, Pitt had gone to Notre Dame and beaten them.
Yes.
And now Notre Dame was coming back. And do you remember that game?
I do. I remember all those tough games against Pitt, man, against, Ironhead Hayward, and they had such an unbelievable team. I remember, who was the quarterback out of Detroit?
Oh, Darnell Dickerson.
So he beat me for Mr. Football. So I always had a problem with Darnell Dickerson, but he was such a phenomenal athlete, and he did really well at Pitt. And I always remember those games being hard hitting and tough.
But that game, here's a story on that game.
Yeah.
Dickerson goes into the end zone right before halftime, fumbles, can't get on the ball.
Wow.
Notre Dame recovers it.
Right.
Curvin Richards, who was a freshman running back, fumbles going into the end zone.
Richards, yes.
2 fumbles. Now we've got him. It's 23-20, okay, and it's Saturday night, and it's on ESPN, and it's a huge game. And we've got him. And on 4th down, we hold him to a punt. We have 12 guys on the field.
Oh, no.
Next play, I don't know if it was Jerome Bettis or it was Tony.
Tony Brooks?
The running back.
Reggie Brooks?
No, the quarterback.
Tony Rice.
Tony Rice,
yes.
Gone for a touchdown.
Yes.
Game, set, match, 30-20. And they talked a lot about that game in that doc. So that's the last Notre Dame national championship, isn't it?
Yes, 1988. And so, it's been a long time. And but I think Marcus Freeman is doing a great job on the recruiting trail. And obviously, you got to have the horses if you're going to get it done. And, I really like with the direction of the program. I think that, we've got a couple times we got really, really close, but, ended up playing some tough teams like Alabama and whatnot. And I remember, when I was coaching, we made it to the playoffs, and we ended up losing to Clemson in the first round, where they went on to win the national championship. And so we've been really, really close. But listen, and you also have to be really, really good, and you got to be a little bit lucky to win the national championship in college. And now, with the bar is set so high with teams like Georgia, Alabama, Oklahoma, USC's on the rise, Ohio State that's consistently great, and Michigan is on the rise. And so it's really, really tough to go undefeated, on Saturdays in the NCAA slate for sure.
To me, though, and look, I love the college game. I work in the college game still, but like those games in the 80s and 90s, because not everybody was on TV.
Yes.
You guys were on TV, right? Oklahoma, Texas, Nebraska, Miami, Florida State.
Yeah.
I mean, USC, right? Those were the schools that were on TV. So the games just felt so much bigger when you were playing in that era.
They really did. And I think that, a lot of teams really scheduled a lot of powerhouse out-of-conference games, so there's always big games on every Saturday, where now it is, teams kind of line themselves up to play for the national championship, where as opposed to back then it was because, there was no playoffs. It was like you got to play the best in order to get that number 1 and number 2 slot.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit different that way. But, you have
the occasional matchup here or there that first weekend, but that's it.
Yeah, and that was it. But now, you were talking about Miami, and you're talking about the documentary. It was interesting, too, because, when I was at the University of Notre Dame, our biggest rivals were the University of Michigan, obviously USC, and then Miami. And, not knowing any of those guys, from Miami. I couldn't stand any one of them. They were such great players. I couldn't stand those guys.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, once I got to the league, and I was teammates with guys like Cleveland Gary, Robert Bailey, and playing against guys like Michael Irvin. Once I got to the league and saw their passion and saw their drive for the game and how much they love football, those guys were the best teammates you could ever ask for.
And let me tell you something. That rivalry between Miami and Notre Dame in that era with Jimmy Johnson, Holtz, butting heads. And there was a lot of, clearly there were a lot of fights in the tunnel back then.
Absolutely.
Like, it was wild stuff.
It was great.
But that time to me is it's a magical time in college football because USC, Miami, Notre Dame, et cetera, were so great. Let me ask you one last one because I know you got to run here about college football since you were involved in the game for a while as well.
Well, what were you? You coached?
I was coached with Brian Kelly at the University of Notre Dame. And so I was there for 5 years. We did a really, really good job. One season we fell off a little bit, but we made it to the college football playoffs once, and we had some very, very really, really good teams that had a chance, but maybe we were 1 or 2 losses from really breaking through.
Yeah, were you okay with Coach's accent when he moved to Louisiana? I know you got some grief over that.
You know what? I was okay. I was okay because Brian had been there a long time, and Brian is a phenomenal coach, and I think that he's going to do a great job at LSU.
He is. I think they're going to win a national championship.
It wouldn't surprise me if LSU wins a national championship within the next 5 years.
I would agree wholeheartedly.
Yes.
What he did at Notre Dame, if he can replicate that at LSU, he'll win a championship.
And speaking of LSU, what a phenomenal program. Like, even if you're just a sports fan, they have so many great athletes. You just love watching LSU, no matter what sport it is.
Oh, my God, yeah.
And I was
Their baseball team is loaded.
Baseball in particular is different. Basketball and football,
they just won the national championship again in baseball.
Exactly. And they have like a crazy stat where it's like they've won every championship in every sport on both men's and women's side, which is unbelievable.
Wow, that is
right. They just won the women's national championship, and then they won the baseball in the same year.
Yes.
So let me ask you one last one before you go.
Okay.
Because you worked in college, obviously a lot of changes going on, regionally, et cetera. You got USC and UCLA leaving to the Big Ten, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. But do you believe that we're just kind of headed to a place where the conferences just don't even matter? We just have like one big super conference? Like, what do you think is going to happen?
You know what? I really think it's just going to end up, being a situation where it's going to be, 2 super conferences, just like the NFL,
like an East and a West, right?
Exactly, like an East and a West. You know what I mean? And there's going to be divisions. You're going to have to win the division titles to get into the playoff race,
right?
So and it's just going to end up being like the pro model, I think, at some point. You know what I mean? And I think that would give all of the programs the best chance to win a national championship, because right now the way it's set up, there's pretty much like 6 to 8 super teams, and everybody's trying to get into those 8 spots, and they're going to have to change the model a little bit as the game advances, for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be wild to see how it all unfolds. Todd, an absolute pleasure.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Thank you for having me.
Todd
Thank you for having me.
Super Bowl champion with the Rams, Pro Bowler 1999. All right, we'll take a quick break. We're here at training camp. We're here till 7 o'clock, live in your home for Rams Radio, 710 ESPN.
Rams training camp. It is Military and First Responders Day, thanks to our friends at Bud Light. By the way, on this day, happy birthday, Coolio. Of course, we lost him in 2022.
I know.
There's a Coolio classic. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. By the way, not Matthew Stafford today in the 6 o'clock hour, George. It will be the great Cooper Kupp.
Oh, okay, there you go.
And Coach will join us on Thursday.
Okay, great.
When Cappy's not here.
That's right.
Oh, well, did he request that specifically?
I think so. I don't think Coach wanted to be on with Cappy today.
Tell you this, Ro, Cooper Kupp has taken a look at my Mandy's drip.
Oh, that's who we got to talk to.
And he has done a lot of analysis on that drip.
Yeah.
Well, who wouldn't?
And so I'm pretty psyched about that.
Well, you know what I'm psyched about, Cappy? Today is Military and First Responder Day here at Rams Training Camp here at UC Irvine, and we're here with Jules Silva, the Regional Development Manager for Folds of Honor. Jules, thank you so much. It's our honor to have you on here. For the fine folks that may not be aware of what it is that you guys do, how would you best explain it to someone?
Folds of Honor, we are a military foundation. We raise money to fund scholarships for the children and spouses of our fallen military and our first responders, and also our disabled veterans.
Well, that is a very good thing that you guys do, because I know we got a lot of people who listen who are in the military, and we got a lot of people down at Camp Pendleton, and obviously they've had to deal with a lot of that over the course of many years. So that's great that you guys do that.
Yes, we love helping our families. It's so important to get the Folds of Honor word out there. We have so many families that can use us and need us, and we want to be there for them. They can get more information at foldsofhonor.org. And we're just here to help the families and our first responders. We just added the first responders on 9/11 last year.
That's great.
We will be celebrating them this year, 9/11 again. It's just great. It's fantastic to help our service members.
That's cool. Well, you ain't got no problem, Jules. I'm on that mother.
Yeah.
Go back in there and chill them brothers out and wait for the cavalry, which should be coming directly. Do you know what movie that's from?
Saving Private Ryan.
No? Good guess.
Yeah.
Good guess.
Yeah, what movie is it?
Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Pulp
And
Fiction.
you want to know why I know that? Because that's why I named my daughter Jules for that scene right there.
Awesome.
You see what I'm saying? You ain't got no problem,
Now,
Jules.
your name is Julia, but you told us Jules because you said you were only Julia when you were in deep trouble.
Busted.
Yeah.
Really? What'd you do?
Busted.
What'd you do?
Oh, sneaking out the window.
Oh, wow.
Why would you do that?
Party? Come on.
Had somewhere to be.
Yeah.
Well, until the time that I snuck out the window, tried to sneak back in the window, and got my legs slapped and said, "Why don't you go to the front?"
Was that Mom?
Oh, Mom was in the room waiting.
Oh, so Dad got the leg.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Go to the front door.
Okay, go to the front door. So you go in the front door, and what happens after that?
Busted.
Busted. Totally busted.
life.
How old are you, Jules?
16.
Or excuse me, should I be calling you Julia at that
Yeah,
moment?
I was
Yeah.
Julia then,
Yeah.
for sure.
You were 16 years old. You get busted coming in.
Mhm.
Okay, what'd they do?
I think I was grounded for a month.
Okay.
Fun.
No,
Wow.
no more car.
Okay. At that time, they couldn't take your cell phone, right?
No,
No cell phone.
no,
Right?
no cell phone. But
didn't have any cell
definitely, the 1969 Carnegie was parked forever, or at least I think a month.
Yeah.
How many times out in and out the window did you make it home safely
Good
before they
question.
busted?
Solid.
At least 10 times.
Okay.
There you go.
All right, so you got a
that's
high
a pretty good
percentage.
hit rate.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it was good. It was
Yeah.
good.
You were crushing it back
It was
then.
about a year run before
Yeah.
I got busted.
Any siblings in this household?
I do. I have.
Did they rat you out?
Oh no, I was
No.
the oldest.
Oh.
See, I just
Yeah.
want to know, like, if your mom and dad were like, "Whoa, Julia, oh, she's such a pain in the ass." Oh, Julia.
Well, my dad was Army,
Oh.
so we
Oh,
had
there you
very,
go.
very strict rules, which
Okay.
is probably why I had to resort to sneaking out.
Got
because
it.
there was like no. You have to.
The active
Had to be.
duty your kid as a kid.
Wow.
Yeah, I grew up in a military family.
Nice.
So my dad served in Vietnam. Both my brothers are in the Army, and my grandfather served in the Army, the Air Force, and the Navy.
Wow.
So
Wow.
very.
Did you grow up on a base somewhere, or?
I did. I was born on a base, and I've grown up all over the United States.
Really?
With my dad.
Wow.
And okay, so when this was transpiring, you're going in and out of the window. What city was that in?
Yeah.
So at that time, we were living with my grandparents, and my grandfather was stationed at March Air Force Base. obviously grown leaps and bounds. As of 2023, we've given out 44,000 scholarships totaling $200 million.
Wow.
And a lot of our relationship and why we're here today is with Budweiser. Budweiser has given us over $21 million to fund those scholarships.
Okay, shout out Anheuser-Busch.
Shout out to Anheuser-Busch. Shout out to you guys.
I mean, could it be more all-American than that? My goodness.
25 recipients. And they just do so much to help us out, and we really do appreciate them and our relationship.
Yeah.
Well, so do we. You know, we had about, what was it, about a year ago or so?
And we'll be doing it this year on Veterans Day.
Right.
At Black Gold.
And it was awesome. And it was so great to get to know what Folds of Honor was about back then.
Yep.
And to meet you and to have you tell everybody what's going on. Awesome.
Thank you so
and
much.
again, give the folks one more opportunity here where they can contribute.
Foldsofhonor.org. You can get all the information. You can also make donation there to help out our folks. You can become a squadron member, which is $13 a month, which goes a long ways to help all of our military. And we think we're going to have about 10,000 applicants this year.
Wow. Well, my.
Yep.
Jules Silva. I mean, we were Jules, then we found out about Julia.
Right. When she was
and
bad.
now we're back with
now
Jules.
She's good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. She was bad for a while, and she was Julia. Now she's good Jules.
She is good. And thank you for all that you do. It's just an incredible job what you guys are able to accomplish. And thanks for joining us for a few
Yes, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
There she is. So Julia Silva, Regional Development Manager.
She ain't got no
for
problems.
Folds of Honor. We are here at LA Rams training camp. Our coverage brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Coming up next.
From the movie Boogie Nights, the soundtrack. On this day back in 1981, Rick Springfield's, there it is, Jesse's Girl went to number 1, Cappy. Come on. 11. Oh, is that when the deal's up?
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, okay.
Sedano, Beto, and Pepe.
Yeah.
Hey.
That's what I'm talking about.
Plus, you got Wara.
Yeah. It's the all Latino show.
Yeah, I like it.
All Latino show.
Right.
There you go.
I love that.
Yeah.
There you go.
What? Let me ask you a question, Pepe. Tell me this.
Go ahead.
So you came here on Saturday, did not have a pass to get in, turned around and left when you could have very easily texted me and I take care of everything for you.
I know, but I didn't want to bother you.
You're not bothering me. You're familiar to me.
The only number that I don't have is Chris's number.
That's
Really?
the number you need.
But I'm gonna get it today.
We're going to do it today? We'll do a swap today.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Sure, for sure.
But I don't
No, I
understand.
didn't. It was crazy. I didn't want to bother you. You guys were working here. You were doing really fine because you always do fine. And sometimes you do fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, George here does excellent.
George.
Right. He's outstanding.
George.
Right. He's a different level.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
Totally.
It's Cubano.
Sí,
Oh.
I know. Sí.
Mi amigo.
Sí. Pero,
Pero,
Hebraic hermano.
okay.
Sí.
And I have to go to Del Mar.
Oh,
I
you
still have to
come
do
as
that.
my guest.
Oh, yeah.
You
man.
come-
After what everybody's saying, I mean, like, you're the king of the ponies.
I don't know if I'm the king of the ponies, but
The Prince of the Ponies?
I'll show you a hell of a good time. I'll tell you that right now.
That's good enough for me.
I'll put you in the middle of the action.
That's good enough for me.
Okay.
And I love Del Mar, so one of these days I'll give you.
Okay.
Okay.
Like that.
So this is beautiful,
It is beautiful.
amazing, and I saw all the things that you guys been doing with all the players. And how dare you ask a great player to take you out? It's a lack of respect.
Why?
Totally.
Why?
Because he's a player that is gonna go to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And come on, I have like 10% of respect for you.
Only 10%?
Yeah, you have to earn the rest.
Okay.
Right, Chris?
I think you're being a little hard on him, frankly.
But 15?
I mean, listen, here's the reality. Yeah, here's the reality, Pepe. Just say it. You like coming on this show a lot more than the other show.
No,
You shouldn't be disrespecting Cal.
No. I like all of you guys.
Yeah,
okay?
but you enjoyed this show more. I think so.
Don't,
You
can admit
don't push it on me, okay? Come on.
Well, you're here. You came to UC Irvine to
I
see us.
live in Irvine.
You live
I
down the
like you
street.
guys,
Yeah, but
okay?
still. And last week you came to Orange to Danny K's.
Because I live in Irvine.
See.
Okay,
That's
all right.
Beautiful Irvine. No, I like all of you. Come on. I like you, Chris.
I-
I have you don't make me lose respect for
No,
you.
I won't. No, I
Oh,
won't
now
do
he's
that.
the meter's going to drop on
No.
you.
Meter is gonna-
You didn't lose respect for me, though, did you?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, you said there's 10%.
I'm going to
10%.
give you 15. Is that okay?
No, it's not okay.
He said starting
Well,
point.
Let me give you my rationale and tell me if I can persuade you. Okay, let me tell you if I can persuade you. I believe that Aaron Donald is a fine young man.
Fine.
Very fine. Oh,
Is that
outstanding.
fine?
Yeah, like fine. Like he's a
He is
really,
fine.
really fine. Like fine as hell. Like that kind of fine too.
Well, can you find another adjective to?
So I mean, dude, what a guy. I mean, listen, family man and takes care of his people and is loyal to his school and his hometown.
Great.
Yeah, he's a terrific dude.
Right.
I mean,
Terrific.
yeah.
I like terrific.
Yeah, fine. I mean, it's just like he's a fine young fella. I really like this guy.
So,
And so
if I say that here my brother is terrific and I said that you're fine, would you be happy with that?
Well, I think George is fine.
Yeah.
No, I
You
think
would be
George is
bothered if he called me terrific and you were just
you're fine.
Oh, okay. So you don't like
I
fine.
mean, maybe
Fine's
you're
not
just used to that,
You're
but-
saying fine's not enough. You're saying
There's
fine
that.
is not enough. Okay.
For Aaron Donald?
So I really am I admire Aaron Donald
Yeah.
very much.
Me too.
So that's
Okay.
why you wanted to give him your autograph.
So no idea who he is. He gave me this picture and autographed it, so I framed it and put it in my office.
That's very good.
Sure.
Are you gonna put it in the garage with the rest of the footballs and everything that you have?
Right, all my sports memorabilia that I don't use.
Then why am I giving it to you?
Well, I hope Aaron Donald puts it in his office.
if I was to ask you for a photograph,
Yeah.
sign autograph,
Right.
picture is because I'm going to put him on a frame in my house.
Okay.
But I'm not going to ask.
Would you put his photo above the Mason and Ireland photo in your house?
I don't have a Mason and Ireland.
Oh, yeah.
Mason just texted. He says, "You tell him, Pepe, you're a Mason and Ireland guy."
Not for long, Jack.
Pepe,
I known them for a long time.
Well, we've all known them for a long time, but
Not longer than me.
let me see if I could interest you in something.
Oh, that looks something like.
it says top secret on the envelope.
For a moment, I thought that they were bathroom seats covers. Man.
Let me see if I can interest you in a little gift here today.
Okay.
Perhaps, and I'm just saying perhaps,
Okay.
you would like a picture of these two handsome fellas
that's
right here.
Nice. That's
Me and
nice.
you.
Would you like to frame a Sedano and Cap 8x10 glossy? Do you have a Mason and Ireland 8x10 glossy?
I have a whole bunch of photos.
Of Mason and Ireland.
Mason and Ireland and you and Chris and everybody from the Mandy's.
Okay, but would you
This
like?
is from 2 years ago.
This is
Yeah,
just.
yeah, 2
this is
years.
a collector's item.
Yeah.
Now, would you sign? If I sign this
No,
for you,
because it's a collector's item.
Yeah.
Why?
I'm.
You know what I have?
Tell me.
My skin looks great. in
I'm
that
going to
picture.
tell
You
you.
look. You look terrific.
Your skin
I'm-
always looks great.
You really look nice.
I'm going to tell you what I have, and I'll show you the picture when we go to the break.
okay.
Okay,
tell me.
there you go. Pepe, in the meantime,
Tell him, George.
Mason has text again. Me and Pepe go back 30 years, is what he said.
I don't believe
Yeah.
that.
Well, I mean,
That's right.
that is weird because Mason always says that he's only a few years older than me, so I would imagine that
Oh, boy.
30
that math
years.
doesn't add up.
30-year
Oh, boy.
relationship. Here we go.
Hey, so he's his words, So there you go. Look at that. Look at that. People magazine. Who is that? Oh, wait. Hold on.
Okay, keep on talking.
It's okay. It's
What do you-
okay. We got
What
it.
is this? You and Oscar De La Hoya?
Yeah.
Oh. See what it says
Let
right
me
there?
see this right
That
here. Hold
is
on
a
a second.
signature to my mother by
To-
one Elizabeth Taylor.
Wow.
Okay.
Beat
Wow.
that.
Beat that, Cappy.
Beat that, Cappy.
Wait, you want me to? Wait, you're saying
Elizabeth Taylor was sitting right next to me, and I asked her for an autograph for my mother because my mother, rest in peace, loved Elizabeth Taylor.
God rest her soul. When did this happen? What year?
Oh, about 1988.
1988.
That Laker game?
No. When I was working for the airlines.
Oh, really? What were you
Lovely ladies.
What'd you do with the airlines?
Lovely ladies.
Pepe?
I worked for Mexicana Airlines for 20 years.
doing what?
Passenger service, supervisor of passenger service.
And how'd you become where you are today, the broadcaster?
Some
for
of
the Lakers?
Cappy's friends in Florida could have used a guy like you.
Big
Yeah,
time.
of course.
Could have used your help a long time ago. We were moving all kinds of stuff. Believe me.
No,
This was back when Sedano washed up on the shore, man.
So you had this whole career in the airline industry. How'd you become the broadcaster of the Lakers?
Because I had a chance to one day they asked me and I said yes because nobody wanted to do the Lakers.
On
They wanted,
Spanish.
They
yes.
wanted to do soccer and nobody wanted to cover the Rams, the Angels, the Dodgers, the Lakers.
The American sports.
So I did it. Thank God.
Yeah, but no.
That's this
But
history.
but there's one missing piece of the story.
What?
Hey, I'm done, airline. I don't know what I'm going to do next.
No. Copy. Come on, Copy, please.
Explain
Of
the
course.
transition.
How did you go from the
Okay.
airlines to the broadcast?
I was working at the airline and the airlines at the airport, and a good friend of mine said they're looking for somebody in Orange County. There's a new station. You might be the person because you know a lot about sports.
Okay.
So I went over there, and then the rest is what I just told you.
History at that point.
Wow, fascinating.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, I can bring it next
Not
time.
fine, fascinating.
Fascinating. I like
See.
that. I like that. I have on the ticket of the Rams Super Bowl game in Pasadena.
Uh-huh.
I went to see that Super Bowl.
What were we talking,
And
1984-ish? What are we talking?
1979.
79.
You know how much I paid for the ticket?
Tell me.
Guess.
$2.
How much I pay?
$2.
Oh, come on, $2.
$5.
$25.
$45.
$45.
$45.
$45.
Wow.
Jack Youngblood break his leg in that? Is that the game?
Yeah, that's the game with Ferragamo.
Yeah.
And it was a really good game.
Fred Dreyer was in that too.
Yeah, I always think that if the Lakers
Nice.
at the time,
Hunter.
Yeah, I want her.
No, very good.
Vince Ferragamo was with the Lakers. He was a great passer.
The Rams.
But they needed, with the Rams, I'm
No,
sorry.
he was with the Lakers.
And they needed Eric Dickerson, but they couldn't get there at the same
At the
time.
same time, right.
If Eric Dickerson would have been with the Rams
Then the Rams would have won that championship in '79.
Of course.
Yeah.
Naturally.
Against the Steelers.
against the Steelers, great game.
Yeah.
Great game.
Yeah.
Next time I'll bring the ticket.
20 years, man. That's amazing to have a full career in one industry and then move on and have an even better and more exciting